following Twitter D, looking at me like enemy, only like in vicinity. I'm so high with the energy, yeah, you follow his way, yeah, follow his way, yeah. Laser light show never fade, no, ain't no stage chill. We got all night, no switch, we that bright light. On lane, we might take flight. Flight check ain't no right height. We don't fall or lose sight. Follow his way, yeah, follow his way, yeah. We got the juice, we got the watts, ain't no way we fading. They go low and we go high. They play ego limbo on the other side. We keep humble, ain't no honor in your pride. Lying in me, lethal weapon on my side. Praise my God, promise we ain't coming down. Same thing for the crown, same thing for the team. Breaking down any op, only can by what God say. Mobbing hard with the tribe, yeah. All the glory to my Yahweh, all the glory to my God, yeah. Praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they go low and we go high. They play ego limbo on the other side. We keep humble, ain't no honor in your pride.
Peace, 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 peace. What's going on this morning? What's going on this morning, man? What an incredible ride. So we're here this morning, reeling, well, not reeling, because, again, this is a Christian channel. Let's not get this, that's misconstrued. The reason why we cover these elections and things dealing with politics is because we have to still live in this country. Romans 13 says, render unto Caesar what is his. Talks about following the laws of the land. So in order to actually follow the laws of the land, we have to know what's going on. As well as we can't put ourselves underneath a rock and not be part of the process, because part of following the laws of the land or having the ability to have certain things work in our favor, depending on our nation, we are able to do that still as Christians. Now, do we put that in front of our Christianity, in front of our God? No, we don't. We don't make an idol of it. So eventually, I'm not going to even talk about this unless it's something dealing with policy. But, and also that's one of the reasons why I did the last video talking about how crooked the system is as far as it goes with Virginia elections. Now, on to today. This is why politics, though politics may change, they are going, in this country, they are very consistent. So, one of the things that I love about this country and being able to be in this country is the fact that checks and balances are always in play. So we may have lost the president, and this is one thing. Well, we have lost the president that we had before. Regardless if he was a 1 and or 2-term president, what was anybody going to do after he was gone after 4 years? Because he only had 4 more years left. The president of the United States is not likened to the legislative branch, nor the judicial branch. It's the executive branch. The executive branch has term limits. Now, whether that in his term was up, that's it. It's good if he can go 2 terms, but he already ran a term, 4 years. So eventually he was going to have to leave. And then what will you have been stuck with? You still stuck with the choice of voting Republican or Democrat or a third party. Now, in today's what we're going to do after President Trump leaves, which I mean it was very all over the place. So much excitement going on all over the place. What we do after this is the same thing we've been doing for hundreds of years. We've been through depressions, pandemics, uh, terrorist attacks. We've been through so much in this country. We've been through wars on top of wars. And we still exist. We're still standing. Now, know a lot of gloom and doomers like to say the world is ending because something is happening in the world. But to those people who like to spread the doom and gloom of existence as a human being, please stop. No man knows the hour. And when the time comes, even though you may see signs, they may be false signs. And even though you may see false signs, even though you may think you're seeing signs, when the day comes, everything is going to be just as it is. So everybody will be doing exactly what they were doing. There's going to be no real differentiation from that day and any other day. And then when it happens, it's going to happen in the blink of an eye. So there's no prolonged ending. It's just going to happen and it's going to be over. But we're all scheduled to pass on anyway. Now, I know that sounds morbid, but let's get to what we're really here for. Now, though President Trump is not going to be the president moving forward, the Democrats are losing in the races that they need to have the trifecta that they said they were going to have. So let's look at this right now. They're trying to get they want to achieve a majority, but currently they're not able to get a majority, which is beautiful. So we're looking at the Senate race right now, and it's 46 to Republicans 48, and there are 51. They need 51 for a majority. And in a lot of these states, it's split where you have a Republican and then you have a Democrat. But again, the Republicans are winning. The Republicans are winning. The leader of the Senate, and I want to run with this, because I don't know why this thing was showing me Donald Trump. Oh, that's not what I was Still Mitch McConnell. It's still Mitch McConnell. So this works in a couple of ways. It works in a couple of ways. So Mitch McConnell, when he gets his majority, it's going to be very hard to get Mitch McConnell with a losing presidential race to work with the Democrats because he has the leverage. He has the leverage. So when it comes to things like stimulus, they're going to have to do skinny bills. Nancy Pelosi is not going to have the power, even though they have the president. Again, we live in a democracy. So the checks and balances are there. They can try to pass something in the House, like you've seen them. You saw them last time. They tried to pass something. They tried to pass something in the House. And then what happened? It got blocked in the Senate. So how's it going to go straight to the president? It doesn't. So basically, in a nutshell, what Americans have chosen is a form of checks and balances. And in this term, the Democrats and the Republicans, as they should have in the last, let's say, since Obama has been in president. No, I should take that back. Since there hasn't been a supermajority in presidency, they have to work together. They have to work together. They have to. They just have to. As it goes in the House, it's kind of the same thing. Even though this says 208, it's 218, 193. Let's look at this race. Man, look at this. Just look at this. All of this red across the nation. Just look at it. Look at all of this red across the nation. Just look at it. Even though they don't have enough of a majority to really do anything. They can't. You need half of 218. You need half of 218 in order to destroy the filibuster. So you need half of the House to destroy the filibuster. But how can you do that with the numbers as they stand? And we still got races coming in. And if you look at, and I'm gonna switch back over, if you look at this, we still have places where Republicans are still winning. Alaska is coming in, but Alaska's red. If you look, there's still House seats to be had. So the Republicans are still going to win. You cannot destroy the fact that even though you've lost a president, you've gained power in both the Senate and the House. And if you think, because let's remember, many of these Republicans are coming in the frame of mind of they have power because the Democrats cheated them out of their president. I'm trying to tell you, this is going to be the story. Republicans are already upset. They're out there at the polls. Their marching orders is to stop the vote or keep the vote counting, depending on what state they're in. But again, let's remember, even if they lose the president, the president is only a figurehead. Now, Joe Biden can try to sneak certain things in there, but politically there would be disasters, i.e. trying to put it, let's just say, for instance, he tries to do an executive order to give everybody checks, right? Now, in order to do that, they have to be forgiven. And it has to go right back through the process in order to forgive it. And if he ends up giving people checks and they're not forgiven, that means that's going to go on your taxes next time. And that affects everybody across the board. Let's say Joe Biden tries to do these tax hikes that he talks about. He still has to go through the process in order to do that. He can't do that. So we're sitting in a situation where, yeah, y'all got Trump out of here, but what did that actually do for the long term? What did that do for the long term to benefit you? Because Trump was a symbolic actual win for the Democrats. Yeah, we got the orange man out, blah, 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 blah. But your political status, You've lost your political stance, period. You have. What are you really going to do now that you've lost your footing in the rest of the political sphere? Because y'all fought hard. There could be voter fraud. They may not be voter fraud. But we do know that they fought hard when it came to the presidential election. But they didn't fight hard enough when it came to these other races. So even though we lost President Trump, they still lost. That's why they're not happy. The polls told them they were going to get a trifecta. It was going to be this big blue, overwhelmingly big blue, just smash everywhere. But as we see looking across the country, in a lot of these races, majority of the country is still Republican. Majority of the country, and I like this map because it's showing the counties. Let's look at it. Look how small of a margin of America is actually, and I know it's by the numbers. I understand it. It's by the numbers. These counties, blah blah blah. It's by the numbers. But let's think about this. This right here. This right here shows you the direction of the country. So even though Trump may have lost this time, let's just look at it like this. Even though Trump may have lost this time, Trump poisoned the whale on his way out. He poisoned the whale on his way out. So, which was they might think, oh, the president shouldn't do this, and that, and third. Politically, it's a hit job. He said, if you're going to do me crazy, watch this. As soon as he said as soon as he questioned the legitimacy of the as soon as he questioned the legitimacy of the election, and then different videos started popping up that even if they're not the most evidence, even if they don't have the most evidence with them, they still, to the base and to Republicans who follow, and to the Republicans who follow Trump, they are going to remember this. And remember, 4 years is not a long time. Literally, we don't even have, I think we have another race coming up in about a year or two. I know our gubernatorial race is in about a year, ours in Virginia. But also the rest of the country has the midterm elections for the Senate and the House. So there are other races that are coming up. What are the Democrats going to do? What are they going to do when they lose in these other races? Because you got to remember, Nancy Pelosi is going to lose her seat. She may lose her seat when her term is up, coming around in the next presidential election. A lot of these figureheads are going to lose power, all because of this election. Donald Trump actually, because believe it or not, the kids who are on TikTok, that's your new young voter block. And they're already seen, and if you look on the politics on TikTok, you'll see that the kids are like, hey, bruh, what happened? How do you have a vote spike jump up like that? They're going to remember that. And when it comes to their elections, guess what? They're not going to vote for Democrats because they're going to be like, y'all cheat. Don't believe that the kids nowadays don't know right from wrong. Though they may do things differently from generations past, don't think they don't know right from wrong, because they do. They have their own moral stances. We told them don't bully, don't cheat. We told them that. They grew up in that. Though I'll say within my generation, the 35 to like about the 35, the 30 club, the 30 club. We still live by those morals. But the kids underneath us, they don't. 20, you talking about kids from 18 all the way up to 25 who are the new voting bloc. Both Hispanic and black and white, regardless of what race. All of them are cohesively on TikTok, and they all of them are cohesively watching the same content. So, with President Trump poisoning the well on his way out, he has really killed the Democratic Party. They shot themselves in the foot by not protecting their integrity when it came to this election. Because one of the things they didn't do was protect their integrity this entire election. The kids know that this is why television is going down in the numbers. The kids are on the internet. They get their news from the internet. And the reason why is because they can watch you guys lying in real time. Now, the older guys, they still watch news. They still watch the news. But the kids not watching the news. They watching the internet. And on the news channels, they not watching the news channels. It's mostly an older demographic like my demographic who watch the news on the internet, but the kids don't watch the news on the internet. They watch their favorite internet broadcasters give them the news. So understand that they're not getting the information. That's why it was so important for Joe Biden to be on the internet consistently when he was running his race, because he knew most of his voter bloc was going to be on the internet. Oh yeah, and check this. The votes in this election, the Democrats are going to think that they won this election solely because people like Democrats. And that is not the case. The reason why Donald Trump lost this election is because Donald Trump, who he was, and the media told everybody who he was, right? And now, this is people who don't like Donald Trump. But guess what? They don't like Donald Trump, and they don't like Joe Biden, and they don't like Kamala Harris. So believe this. They may have a symbolic win. But guess what? It's going to be short-lived. Because the temperature of the country, as we're watching it, you thought that the Republican base, because Trump ain't going nowhere, the Trump base will be here for the next 10 to 20 years. The Trump base will be here for the next 10 to 20 years. And their children will be here for even longer than that. So let's think about this. Let's remember that there was a article that came out where they did a poll, and they realized that the youth vote was more conservative than it had ever been. The youth is way more conservative than they have ever been in the last few election cycles, in the last couple of years. So with that being what it is, let's remember, change is always constant. Change is always constant. Don't forget, even though got rid of this figurehead, the figurehead of the country. The board has changed. So that was my spill for today. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I need you guys to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Keep up with me. And yeah, if you really want to talk to me, call in. All calls welcome. Appreciate you. Peace.